Welcome to the Say Less podcast for a special edition. We got my man, great NBA All-Star Xavier McDaniel, X-Men, childhood hero of mine. We're at the Greater Grounds again, and I really appreciate you being there. Thanks for having me here. So, X, I've always wanted to ask you, give us a little bit, how you got the name the X-Men, how you even started out, and just some of your beginnings.
It was during my senior year of high school. I was having a great year, and a reporter said the X-Men does it again. And we had done won a whole bunch of games in a row, getting ready for that state title. And so we had two newspapers back then. One was called the State Newspaper. One was called the Columbia Record. That was the Columbia Record was the evening paper, and that's when it said the X-Man does it again. And the name is stuck. But my original nickname is the Mountain Man. In high school, they used to call me the Mountain Man. Basically, after Bill Walton. So, but then once the X-Man came out, it just kind of took off and went on. So when I came to Wichita, they start calling me the X-Man again, and it just stuck. It just something that happened when I was 17 years old, and all these years later, it's still here.
So, like, you know how players are 4 stars, 3 stars, so on and so forth. How did that, what were the schools recruiting you? What would you kind of like out of your high school career rated and so on and so forth?
Well, when I came into my senior year, I think I was rated maybe in the state of South Carolina. I was probably rated like 7 or 8, somewhere around there. Guy named Andre Hills, Tyrone Corbin, high school teammate. Noah Ginyard, Xavier McDaniel. I came out listening to some great group of guys from the state, and I think I was rated like number 7, which I thought I should have been rated higher. But when you have behavioral problems in school, you have to get there. You know what I'm saying? You're always listening and doing the right things that could drop you. But it also fueled me to the point of saying that I want to show everybody the type of player I am. Then also I want to show them the type of student I am. So I did a whole 360 and stuff. So, and then I became the number 1 rated player in the state of South Carolina by the time my senior year was out, because we won the state. We beat Xavier McDaniel. He was rated number 2. I think Noah Ginyard out of Charleston Burke was number 1. And then I had to play both of them in the All-Star game, and I got MVP. And that's when the buzz was really high, because people were like, well, is he a small forward? Is he a power forward? Because in high school, I played small forward, I played power forward, and I played center.
Wow.
So
that was like you kind of developed early on, just playing bigger than we're playing budget side.
Right. That's why people see me when they be like, how do you get your shot off against a 7-footer? I was playing against 7-footers all my life. And so when I was a junior and sophomore, I was a small forward, and we had this real huge team. I had a guy 6'8", 6'9", Snooks was 6'8". So we had I started the unit with 6'9", 6'8", 6'6". Our second team was 6'8", 6'6", 6'6". So I played on a real big team in high school. So I've always been a small forward, but I would go down and play the power forward at the time. And then my senior year, we lost a lot of our big people. It was only me, Anthony Snooks, he played at Southern Illinois, and Tyrone Corbin. So I went to the power forward, Tyrone went to the small forward, and Snooks was the center. And so I kind of played all 3 positions. So, a lot of people look at me at 6'7", 6'7 and a half. How you get a shot off against all these big guys? But I've been playing against big guys all my life. So I'm just learning to play against big guys. So.
Now, throughout your career, you know what I mean? You've been known, tough guy, always, definitely for your grittiness, definitely for your ability to rebound and so on and so forth. I mean, that's amazing. It was amazing coming up as a kid. You know what I mean? Watching you lead the nation, college, rebound, score. That tell me a dude that's done that in the last 20 years.
A lot of times for the years, they don't even stay in school long enough for that down. But you got Kirk Thomas and the late Hank Gathers that did it. Hank Gathers did it after me, about 4 years after me, and then I think 95, Kirk Thomas did it. But no one's done it in the last 25 years. So,
And that was
30 years.
Stuff. Yeah. Look, that good stuff. That was amazing to see.
well, I think we can thank Coach Smithson for that. Because a lot of people don't realize I've always been a good rebounder, but I only rebound when I wanted to rebound. And so my high school coach used to get on me about rebounding because he always felt like sometimes I didn't always put the effort out. And so and I always wanted to score. So I would tell people in high school, I only took about 9 or 10 shots a game. Yeah. If I would take 3 shots in a row. Sometimes my high school coach would call a timeout and like, oh, you're shooting too much. Because he wanted me to be more well-rounded.
Yes.
And so when I left high school and I came here, I learned that Coach Smithson loves rebounding. And so that was always my goal, how to get on this floor. And that was a rebounding and playing tough defense. And so when Cliff decided to turn pro and I got the starting spot, I was the number 1 person for that position. And his thing was rebound, kick it out, lay it up or dunk it, but make sure Antoine get them shots. So my whole thing was get rebounds. That's all I thought about. So we can thank Coach Smithson for that because it was like, if you're not dunking it or laying it up, kick it back out. No jump shots, no nothing. So I just got in that mode where I was just going after every rebound. And it just became symbolic with who I am. And so I just kept going. And the more I did, I realized that this is what's going to help me get to my ultimate goal of playing in the NBA.
Now, your first 2 years going through high school, I understand they going at Wichita State.
Right.
That transition, I know that was a heck of a team. That was a tough team. But watching the evolution of you when after Twan and everybody got in there, and just the way you took over, the way you took that on your shoulders. Where did that come from? Like I wanna tap into, like, when you think of X, you think of tough. Like one day like DMX, like X don't give it to you.
Yes.
I think of toughness. I think of like, so is that through your upbringing, parents? Like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a country boy.
It's a little bit of everything.
I'm a farmer boy.
It's a little bit of everything. It's how I grew up. My neighborhood. It's a little bit of everything. My mom, they were like, no nonsense. My dad, he worked 2 jobs, and he was no nonsense. I can't even say some of the things because my mama did. She'll be telling y'all some stories. Y'all be rolling up. Some of the stuff I can't even say on TV. But they kept me humble. But I think the neighborhood I was from was a really, really tough neighborhood. I know a lot of people may not want to hear it, but I've already had watched 2 people get killed. And it's not like it happened like down the street. I'm like, as a kid growing up, you know, God get shot. We're out there playing football in the house one night, looking out the window, you know, because we didn't have central air. You got to in the summer, got to put them windows up. And then we come in, God get shot. So I've witnessed some things and seen some things in the neighborhood that I was from. I mean, if you didn't fight, you'd get bullied a lot. You know, and so growing up, that was just that mentality. That part of Columbia I'm from is on the south side of town called Edison Court. And it was a really, really tough neighborhood. So, and then you had the projects across, you know. And when I got to Wichita, I was like, where y'all from exactly? And they were like,
no, we really don't have it.
They don't, but they were like Primrose is one. I'm looking like, man, these are regular partners here. I mean, projects are like, there's 8 families living in one long building,
right?
And there's like 52 of them,
right?
Big old community.
Yeah.
So you may have like 400 to 500 people living in that community, and I live across the street, and we call it the ghetto.
Oh yeah.
So I think it comes from that. And just my surroundings, you know. I wouldn't say I always was a tough kid, because when you're a kid, most of the kids in the town are always like, oh, he's a kid, you know. The world said don't mess with kids. But as you start getting up into adulthood and when you're turning 14, 15 years old, then that's when things start changing. And so, as a 15-year-old going down to, we called it Valley Park back then, but now it's called King Park, and going down there and playing, it was another tough neighborhood. And everybody in the city came to that one spot to play basketball.
Okay.
It would be the equivalent of the Met set here back in the day. You know, Fairmont Park, but on the Met Water Gym, as now it's called. But everybody comes, and that's where we played our summer league at. And you had everybody in the city, and that would be tough. And I had some tough coaches, man, coming through. I had one coach. His name was Buddy Taylor. And me and his brother been always friends, Al Taylor. And Buddy, we would lose the game, and he was like, "Oh, y'all ain't doing crap. Y'all can go out here and fight." We got kicked out of the league about 3 or 4 times. They always let us back in. But we basically hard knocks.
Yeah.
Back then, there was a lot of hard knocks back then.
Speaking of that, like that's kind of leads me to my next question. As far as the game right now, it amazes me how, I mean, does that ever bother you that people say, oh, well, so much skill set, actually, you know, from the game being down, 3-pointer game, big man kind of seems like he's out of the game.
He ain't out. Way out of the game. He's way out of the game. Not unless he can shoot some jump shots.
And I've always wanted to ask someone like yourself, when they say, oh, he couldn't play in our era right now.
Right.
And I'm like, I always go, y'all can get one thing, that handsome. That's the physicality, right? The 80s and the 90s basketball was so rough. You playing with the Knicks was brutal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what nice. That's what I'm now. The game is totally different. But what's the greatest thing about man? The greatest thing about man is the ability to adjust. You can put him in any type of environment, he will adjust. You may lose some people, but you will adjust. And basketball is the same way. If you played in the 50s and 60s or 70s or whatever era you played in, and if you're a basketball player, you're going to adjust. I don't agree with Gilbert Arenas when he says about guys are bigger, guys are stronger. That's the way it is today. I don't necessarily think they're tough, but I think that if whatever era you played in the NBA, you would be able to adjust. So if Oscar Robertson was playing in this era, he would be able to adjust. He played in the era that was for him. And I really hate comparing because that's all you're doing. It don't mean anything. The game is going to keep evolving. It's going to keep evolving. Sometimes it evolves for bad. Like right now, I think it's bad. When you're shooting threes. When you're looking at a lot of like OKC, they shoot a lot of threes. And when they shoot the threes wide open because they're driving, open, you help, I kick. So a lot of people want to say this and this about each era and respect it, understand the game is played, and just lead the game better.
Right.
And when you start, and that's what Larry Bird said. You know, I just don't try to get caught up. It's like saying, you know, me, Cliff, and Antoine, and Aubrey, and Tony Martin, and Jay Jackson, and when we had Greg Driver, we would beat Ron Baker and his crew. No, this is Ron Baker and those guys. That's their time. We had our time. Let's move on. But we try to compare them, and I just think that it's unfortunate that we can't just like
just enjoy it.
Let's love it. It was great, and let's move on because the world's going to move on anyhow.
Absolutely. That's a good. You know what? And I imagine that's always tough for you guys because it's like you guys lived it. We're just talking.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so to say what you can't do, knowing the obstacles and things that you had to go through to get to where you had to go, to even be at that level, it's amazing. But I don't know. Some of your toughest players, what you get as we, like through college, who would you say was your hardest matchup? Then you say, man, this dude is tough. This dude is really tough.
College?
Yeah, in college. Then we'll get to
my freshman year. Paul Preston probably the toughest guy.
Really tough. Okay.
Not really offensively, but defensively. I mean, he was a one-man wrecking machine. Paul Preston, one of the toughest guys that I ever played against that turned the game around just defensively. I mean, this guy seemed like his arms got longer and longer and longer. But my freshman year, and I would say J.J. Mitchell from Brantley, David Third Kill, those guys were tough.
Was that Hersey Hawkins in your?
I was a senior when he was a freshman.
Okay, so he's okay.
Yeah, so, and then also doing the Steve Harris from Tulsa was tough.
Oh yeah.
Then you got Boys and Winners from Bradley, that was tough. You also had James Jackson at West Texas State, that was tough. You had Rick Lamb, I think it's Rick Lamb and Corley. I can't remember Corley's first name, but I think it's Corley. They were big bruisers and stuff. And so, Indiana State had Josh Sherman Williams. So it was a lot of good talent. I know I'm missing some people. But, those were some of the Benjamin, can't forget Big Ben. Big Ben and Vernon Moore from Creighton University. They were tough. So the Missouri Valley was tough back then. And we had some great games against them. And the great thing about it, we won a lot of those games.
Yeah, you did. That was a beautiful thing. Okay, it's beautiful to watch. Going into now, I'm gonna tell you something. When you went first year to the summer, I'm at Jordan Junior High School here, right? Do you have those those green ones with the strap?
I don't have any more. I don't have any left now.
Man, that was the most comfortable shoe I've ever played in. It has never been a shoe more comfortable than that shoe.
It's a good shoe.
It was a great shoe, man.
I always felt like they didn't put enough money into it because, if you look at TV ads, they're never on TV. But they would have me go out, like I'll go like 2 weeks in Chicago, 3 weeks in New York, 3 weeks in LA, and we'll go to the big cities and then we'll do a city like somewhere in Iowa, Waterloo. We'll go somewhere like Waterloo, Iowa, and we'll hit like Springfield, Illinois. We'll hit a lot of different places, and a lot of times we drove. We did a lot of advertising on our own, where I felt like they didn't put enough money into the shoe. So after 5 years, they just didn't renew my contract. But I thought the shoe did very well for the amount of money they put in. Because, you don't put a lot of money in, you ain't going to get a lot.
I thought it was built very well, but leading into that, I always wanted to ask you that question about my rookie year. And I felt 100% that you were the rookie of the year. Now, Big Red, I want you to talk about it. I want you to elaborate on that. Go ahead. You go ahead. I'm going to let you.
And I've told Patrick Ewing this. He was no doubt about the best player in our class.
I felt the most popular, but he felt popular. But I don't think
the game was rising, and so a lot of the guys who got drafted, you know who getting drafted, then you don't know who getting drafted. It's some homework. But that rookie year, man, with some of the guys that we had in there, I felt like I was the best player in that draft because Patrick got hurt. And so Patrick gets hurt. He's only playing 50 games or 52 games, something like that. Today, he wouldn't even be eligible for Rookie of the Year.
Wow.
And this is what I told him. You take my 32 worst games out, and then you put them against your 50 games, and I promise you, it's no comparison.
Oh, no.
But he won Rookie of the Year. I'm not mad at it, but I feel like I was the best rookie that year.
Oh, no doubt.
And unfortunate, he won it, which I don't know how he won it because he only played, 50 out of 82 games? That's only like 6% of the games. So I felt like I should have been Rookie of the Year. And I went to him, I said, man, let me see my Rookie of the Year trophy. And so, but I ain't gonna promise.
No, I understand.
But during that time, in 1985 draft, I know for about a 4 or 5 year period of time that I was probably one of the top 2 or 3 players in that draft until I hurt my knee.
Yeah.
And when I hurt my knee, I told somebody, I said, how many All-Stars come off the bench after they make the All-Star team?
Man.
I still had to figure out why I wasn't starting in 1989 season. And Bernie Bickerstaff brought me out the bench. Dale Ellis was holding out. I was playing the 2, with Nate playing the 1, Derek McKee playing the 3. And I think that's the first year we got Michael Cage and Al Lifton. So that was our starting lineup. And then when Dale came back, all of a sudden they want to talk to me. Oh, we want to bring you off the bench. I'm like, well, you could have done that at the start. All through training camp, you had me at the 2 position.
Right.
So I've never fully understood why I came off the bench and I never said a word. But every time you look at the paper, you see something about McDaniel's unhappy, and I never said a word.
Wow.
So, and that tells me that the team is the one he leaks in.
Right.
So unnamed sources, it's the dang teams, and I never said a word. And I would challenge, Bernie or Bob if I ever challenged them about the position. You say you want me coming off the bench, I get it. But instead of them letting it just play out, they kept going. And then when I finally said something, then they put me in the lineup, and I dropped like 30 every night.
Man.
And then so how many guys, like I said, how many guys after All-Star year come up to be there?
That's what I'm saying. I've never seen it. Never. Ever. So I wanted to ask you this too, and it's a little still on the subject. We didn't have those games. You know how those games used to come and we used to do an exhibition here in Wichita.
Right.
Were you ever responsible for that? Because really?
This was the second year we came to Wichita, played in Henry Leonard or Coke Arena now. And so, and we played the 76ers. And that was the year after Coach Smithson got fired. I'm not sure who brought the game here, but somebody was sponsoring a game, and that's how it
okay.
I'm not sure who.
Yeah, because it was like once you left, it was like, the city was like, oh my God, like that's the last.
Right.
So when it would come back, and I remember like halftime, y'all don't know if you probably could see it in there. I was probably one of those just on video, just to be on the court and shooting and doing our thing at halftime. But I was always like, it always felt like, I mean, I never asked you that, but I always felt like, why is it even now? It don't happen now. You know what I mean?
I don't know what happened. I don't know how the game came about, but it was great to come back and see some of my teammates,
Right.
my ex teammates and stuff. The only bad part about it is that that was my third year. Right? No. It was my second year. It was my second
That's
year.
what I said, because I think,
Yeah, it was my second year because Eddie Fogler was the coach.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the thing that, Coach Smith wasn't there. But, some of the guys I played with that were still here. And some of the guys that I helped recruited, like Lou Hill, Cedric Coleman, and Gary Conner. Some guys that were playing that either their teammates or helped recruit to come with.
Who would you say was your like closest teammate when you went with the side? So who you would hang with? Like, who you would say? I mean, I know it's like team thing, but like your boy. You know what I mean? Like
With the Sonics. Some of my closest teammates were Nate McDaniel. Let me start over. Let's go with my rookie year. Probably was Al Wood and Joe Henderson and Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps was a rookie with me. So we would always like breakfast, lunch, and stuff like that. Then when those guys got traded, it was still Michael Phelps my second year. Then it was Nate McMillan, Dale Ellis. And me and Tom Chambers has always been friends too. We would meet up and eat after the game at Jake O'Shaughnessy, is a restaurant in Seattle by the arena. And so Danny Young was one of my guys that I hung out with. So I kind of hung out with just about everybody on the team and stuff. So we would get together and go eat dinner a lot of the time.
okay. Toughest guy. Now I want to go into players, the toughest guy that some of the guys you say, man, that's a dog. If I just give you some names, what's the first thing that kind of will go through your mind? Bernard King.
Score, but he's not the same Bernard King when I got to the league because he had got hurt the year I got drafted.
Oh, okay.
And what was eight? No, yeah, because I think he sit out that whole. I think I heard in '84 against Detroit, somebody tore his knee up in the playoffs or something. So when I got to the league, he wasn't the same Bernard King. But still a tough guy to guard, but he wasn't what he was before when he had the ACL change.
Okay. When we talk about Chambers on your team, would you say, besides yourself, we just talk about you, you say, you look at the game and say, boy, that boy can play. Which guy? I know not Dale. I always loved Dale. The shot.
Right.
That was a position I tried to play. Wanted to be a two.
Right.
Was always going to be a court. Chambers, do you feel Chambers ever gets the credit that he possibly deserves?
No, because what they're doing today, he was already doing. Tom Chambers was a stretch four. He could score with either hand. Great free throw shooter. Great leaper.
Right.
Could dunk on you. And Tom, he should be in the Hall of Fame. The way he turned the Phoenix Suns around. But in Seattle, Tom did not play defense. And so he went with the right team in Phoenix who did not care if he played defense, put up big numbers. Bernie Bickerstaff was more into a little bit more defense. But Tom is definitely a Hall of Fame type guy. With what he did in Arizona, and he just turned up English team right around with all the drugs and allegations that they had prior, and with him and KJ and Hornacek, Mark West, and Morley. I think Tom should be in the Hall of Fame.
We're gonna be here for a while. We're in the next time.
Moving over, you look at them so right. That was so. Well, I'm ready to go to New York. Let's go to New York. Let's go to New York. Hopefully, I'll say that later. I'll say that later. Hopefully. Was that one of your tougher matchups? Because it seemed like you two kind of have the same kind of grittiness.
Hunt is a tough physical guy. And he's going to play you physical the whole game. That's one thing I've always loved his game. Even when I wasn't a teammate, how hard he played. So I knew when I had to play against Oak, I had to match his intensity. So I had to go out and say, I'm not just going to let him be the bully. We're going to be bullying each other. So, and they don't always mix well together. And we got in the scuffle back in '89. But I got a lot of respect for Oakland, the way he plays and how hard he plays. But he's one of those type of guys that you can't put a suit on and have some Stacey Adams shoes on. You got to get your ass some Timberlands and a hard hat when you're getting ready to play against him. And that's how I kind of look at it. And that's how I kind of play.
So, Ewing, Oak Mace. Oh. That's some mindset.
That's a scary front line right there.
Man, that is.
I'm telling you, man, that's a scary front line, man.
I'm just trying to think of the practices, man. Like,
we done had some wrong. And Pat Riley, he's crazy himself now. So we would have some real intense practices, And so they done got out of hand, especially in training camp.
Oh yeah.
Me and Mace got into it. And all of us got into it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I always wondered what Mace was like. Because Mace looked like I'm keeping 100. Mace looked like he was mad all the time. Mace
was mad all the time. I mean, he was probably mad because, it took him so many years to get to the league. So he had that chip on his shoulder all the time. So, but man, you'd be amazed at how nice dudes are off the court. Guys are really, really nice off the court, man. Like me, I'm nice off the court, but I can still get a little frisky if I have to. I know that the way people are on the court is not necessarily the way they are off the court.
Absolutely.
You can turn me the wrong way, and then I can act like I was years ago, but I'm a little different off the court. When I'm on the court, man, it's all about business.
No, I'm always there. We always respect it. So, series against the Bulls, okay. They want me to ask. If you come to me, you let me know. They want me to just read it on the good. Everybody always says, you can't share any of it at all about how he even started. This competition on the floor.
It's competition. And I was trying to get in this Scotty head. And Mike took up for him. He was like the big brother coming and saved the little brother.
Okay.
And so, that's how I kind of picture me and Michael head to head. And I always tell people that you go back and watch that tape, you see not Darren Garrison, Jacob Donaldson in the background. He kind of smiled, but I said something, and you see how quick he came in, and so during that issue, we was going to say some F-U words to each other. Right. But if you go look at it, I want you to go look at it, and you're going to see, you see the referee in the background, and I said something. And when I said that, that's when he came in. Because I was like, what you want to do, Mike? When I said, what you want to do?
See, your people that knew you, though, like, let's say we were watching that on TV, like, oh, Mike, I don't know if you're ready for that.
But I always tell people, do you know if I would have fought Mike?
Oh, you'd been out for me.
No.
You don't think you would?
No, I'd have probably been at the mall. Them Negroes in Chicago would have assassinated me, man. Oh, my control.
Because they act like he has that favor over the league. You know what I mean?
They love Mike in Chicago. There's no way you can go in Chicago and be like, talk bad about Mike. That man owns the city of Chicago during that time.
Yeah, he did.
And so I told somebody, I said, man, this big Rose would have burned me.
Yeah, Chicago. They came out. They've been Indiana, Detroit all over again. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it was what it is. Mike, cool dude. We've known each other for a long time, since we're about 19. And when we first met each other, playing a little dice and cards when we were in Aubrey, Sherrod, my teammate, we were all playing and gambling at the Pan Am trial. So we've always been cool, man. And I just talked to him maybe a couple months ago, and I had said something to him. I said, hey, man, I'll still bust your ass in a one-on-one. And he's like, man, we all gonna be in the hospital. I said, I don't think I'm being out there because that's just coming out my mouth. I ain't doing nothing. So, I mean, a lot of respect.
Oh yeah.
For what he done. And not just what he done for the Bulls, and just what he done for the whole entire NBA. You know, the guy's been
he's been a
hell of a player, man, and a lot of people still, have their games after him.
Oh yeah.
20-something years later. Kudos out to him.
Now, was it true that y'all had to, was Pat really doing that part strategy-wise? Like, hey, we got to tough, y'all were tough and really team, but I'm like, was it 2 fouls? Can't just foul you some of that lane? That's enough.
It ain't, I don't think it's a coach's rule. It's more of a player's rule.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the playoffs, everybody gonna get together. The coaches gonna get together, but the players gonna get together and talk through how we want to handle the situation.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we're not going out. We're not putting ourselves in positions to get in trouble. We want to make sure that we on time for everything. You want to make sure. Then you're talking about the game. You want to make sure that we're not just giving up wide open layup. If you have to take a hard foul, take a hard foul. So this is where you have your coaches meeting, then you have your players involved. And so talk about some of the things that as individuals we need to do.
Well, that's funny you said that, because I'm thinking, wow, I'm thinking, I've heard that being said, like on I think the Jordan deal, they like foul him twice. But what I used to always wonder, with that team, what if you had that chance to do that over? What would you think would be your strategy? Because I was always cheerful anywhere you went. So I'm like, let's say like the Indiana series of Reggie. You see what I'm saying? It's just it's just like, I don't know if it was IQ a little bit with the team or so forth, but something would always seem like it just happened. That it's just due to the physicality of the Knicks. You see what I'm saying? They might just kind of like always keep that team on the comeback.
Against Mike, what we wanted to do was Mike under 40 points. That's what we wanted to do. If Mike was getting 40 plus points, it was going to be a long night. But if we can keep Mike under 40 and keep him between 30 and that mid-30s, 35, 36, we got a great opportunity to win. And every time we did, we won. But at the same time, who was the key? The key player was Scottie Pippen. And so my thing was I gotta be able to control Scottie Pippen without having a problem. And so my strategy was I was gonna pick him up full court. I wasn't gonna just let him bring the ball in. And so we got in the series, and the series was about adjustments. So I'm picking them up full, so they throw it to Mike. And we have Gerald pick Mike up full. Then they'll get it to Paxson. And then that's the way we're trying to get them to get out of their rhythm, where they just walk it up and then let them get it out. We're trying to pick them up full, and that worked for a lot of games where we picked them up full and we're crushing them full court and stuff, and we didn't want to double. But there were times where we doubled when we weren't supposed to double, and Craig Hodges hit some threes, Paxson hit some threes, or Steve Curry hit some threes, or B.J. Armstrong hit some threes. And I might have had Steve Curry in there, but I don't think he was there. No, in 91.
No.
I think he was on the second group. But B.J. Armstrong and Paxson and Craig Hodges, those were three. And so what we wanted to do was limit their threes with those guys and stay home on those guys. And a lot of times, for some odd reason, guys were helped. And Craig Hodges hit like 2 threes in a game. One game we were up. I think it might have been down high. I think it was. But you don't pay close detail to the script, to the scouting report, then you have those flaws, and some of those flaws that hurt us. Some things early in the game ain't gonna hurt you when the first round. But as you go on, you can't continue to make those same mistakes. Sometimes we made those mistakes. We win game 1, and we had opportunity to win game 2. And we had opportunity to win game 5. And they pull off at the end on us. So they get in that position a lot more. I don't know how many at that time Patrick them been in there, but I get in that game with, playing my second year, going all the way to the Western Conference Finals, and then Denver the next year, and the first round, and then missed the playoffs, and then first round of Phoenix. So I had a little defeat, but I knew the Bulls had worked 3-4 years with. So they knew how to overcome it, but a lot better than what we did. And I think that's what prompted them to win, was that they'd been in those tough games like that for a lot of years before they got over that hump and stuff. And so, but we had opportunity to win itself. Game 7, and we were in game 7 until Mike got hot. He got hot, and now, now he finished at 42. And I think they wound up beating by 20, I think. But it was a close game up until then. I think the second half they kind of pulled away. But we had game 2. We had game opportunity to win. But the biggest game we lost was game 3. Game 3. We lost game 3. And that's a pivotal game.
It was.
Off a split. And you need game 3 to put that pressure on them. Now it goes to 2-1 in your favor. And then we tie it up at 2-2. Then we go there, and like I said, we had the opportunity, but a great player Mike is, he was able to get those pins down in first time.
Go to the Celtics. A lot of people, with the Phoenix or the Celtics was the last team.
New Jersey was the last team. But I went from Seattle to Phoenix, Phoenix to New York, and then New York didn't re-sign me, and I went to Malta. And then overseas for a year, then back to New Jersey.
I know. You've heard stories of knee injuries, so on and so forth. That's what you wanted to do. I mean, You probably would have been able to sign, but somebody told me something about it. You probably would have been able to, we always talk about it. You would have been able to sign if you got a knee surgery early, you just got to play, do some stuff, right? Is that correct? Or something like that? They let you sit on the block.
Yeah, the year I made the All-Star team, I got hurt, like, I think it was January 28th. We were playing Utah Jazz on TNT that night. And we won the game, but in the second half, I think, Olin Apologies took a charge and fell on my leg. And I tried to jump out the way to snap my leg back. And so I fell, I came out the game, I went to the locker room, and they said it was all right. I took some anti-inflammatories, and so played the rest of the game. The next morning, I get up to go to the airport, get my bag packed, get up, and my knee is swollen. And so I get to the airport. I told me and the trainer goes to the bathroom, I pull my pants down, and my knee is swollen. So now I got to get on a flight. They got me ice up. And they tried to get me to play that night, and I was like, I can't play. So we're playing the Clippers, and I didn't play that night. That was the first game I ever missed. And so they took an X-ray. I missed 4 games that year. I played 78 games. And I played on a torn meniscus. I tore a cartilage under my kneecap. And I had a lot of scar tissue because I played on her game. And I played from late January, the end of January, all of February, in the All-Star game, March, April, and we'll play them in the first round.
See, that is easy.
And I think I should have had the surgery then, and I may not have all the knee problems I had back then, but that's the way it was back then.
See, that's what I know. That's what I was doing.
And so I played on a blown knee for like 4.5 months. And so when I had the surgery, and then that's what I'm saying, the next year I came off the bench. But I didn't miss. I had the surgery in May. I did all my rehab. I never missed the practice or anything when they got me off the bench that year.
Did you say that's like, talk about this just a little bit, or is this practice versus how people live there, like game management, stuff like that. Like the mindset, like that was unheard of in our era, in the era that we came up in. Now, I don't know. I mean, do you agree with it? Would it have saved a lot of your career? Do you think that would?
I think it would have saved a lot of my career doing that. I was my 3rd year in the league, so that would have put me at going on 25 years old. So yes, I think it would have saved my career a little bit.
Right.
So if I'd have got the surgery, and that's basically what I've been told. When I went to the next team, it was like, they should have did this surgery.
Wow.
So every team I went with, when they was talking about the history of my knee, that's the first I said, you're supposed to do that surgery. You're supposed to miss the rest of those games. And I played on that bad knee, but I mean, I did it. I can't go back and change it.
No.
And so I've dealt with it. And so, but I do sometimes think what it would have been like if I would have had my knee repaired. So I do think about it. But when you're talking about load management, if you didn't play, they call you soft.
Right.
Just to let you know, I was in Portland one time and I caught an elbow. It was either from Jerome Kersey or Kenny Carter. And that elbow came and hit me right in the soft part of my head. It knocks me out. So give me some smelling salt and asked me, do I know where I'm at? And after I told them where I was at, it took, I guess, a while. But once I told them where I was at, the first thing they said, can you play? I said, yeah. They would not let me see the knot on my head because it was about that big.
Wow.
And so like I said, if you didn't play when you was hurt, man, they were management was like you saw it. Right. They'll put that word out, you saw it. You know what I'm saying? And so I just played. Yeah. You know, I just played. And so I know I had about 3 concussions, and I never missed a game from a concussion. And so you get the strip and salt, and they ask you where you at. And halftime, I don't even remember, but I just noticed like, yo, man, he was out for a long time. And when I came back out, they didn't think I was gonna play. I didn't have like where people say the lights bother your eyes. I had none of those things.
This was out.
Right.
Brother,
I
sorry.
got knocked out in the. We played the Lakers in '89, and me and Magic was going for the ball, and he hit me, and I goes out. Well, you can see me when I'm walking off. I'm like this right here. I'm straight out. I goes back to the back. I didn't even know my lip was ripped. What? My lip was ripped like this right here. Oh, you can see it on YouTube. The Lakers and the Sonics in '89. My lip was cut. If you look real good, you can see the cut on my lip when they skipped me up. And they gave me some song. I finally woke up and they asked me some questions and I took what I knew. And then it was like, you can get stitched up now or you can wait after the game. I said, if I get stitched up, they're going to do the bust. If I get hit, they're going to do the bust out. So you can see I got like a tape going across my mouth. Like
Yeah, okay, I know. Okay.
Tape going across my mouth. And so then I go back out and play. And then after the game, I get like 20 stitches on the inside and the outside of my mouth. But it was like cut, so they put like some tape to hold it. And I played the rest of the game that way.
See, that's crazy. Man, they would. Now, today's player probably what would happen right now.
I'll be drinking on some tequila and stuff. I'll be out for like 2 weeks, man. Because what happens now is Tyrone Corbin is my high school teammate that played 16 years in the NBA and coaching. I've been coaching, head coach and assistant coach for over 20 years. He's like, they got spring 1, spring 2, spring 3. So each spring means it's a week out. So, and then you see guys, I mean, even the girls that had concussions are out 4 games.
Wow.
I never miss a game. I missed before I got to New Jersey, my first 10 years in the league. And you go look, I only missed 17 games. That's
crazy.
Because of injuries.
That's crazy. But to have your lip ripped, and you still playing, so that's why they got legs.
Yeah. So I played with some things now. You know, I had a slight tear in my calf, never miss a game.
Wow.
You know, and so you had to be kind of an Iron Man, or they'll put that word out your son.
Right.
You know, and stuff. So, if I could, I'm like a lot of guys. I was a warrior. You know, warriors go to battle. And so you pay the price when you get a little older.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with the dog.
Yeah, you know, hey, beautiful career. It was beautiful.
I could have been working a 9-to-5 job somewhere.
That's true.
You know, so I did something that I truly love. And that's basketball. That's period. That's what I love for her.
But what I want to tell you is, man, we appreciate you. You know, you always came back to this little city. Showed your love, the reels, what you're doing with it. Let you speak a little bit on your camp that's coming up here Monday. Is it still too late?
It's not too late. The basketball camp is Monday, June 23rd. If you can't sign up online, you can walk in and we'll sign you up right there on the spot. At about 8:15, and we're going to start about 9 o'clock. And we go from 9 to 3, Monday through Wednesday, and then Thursday is our awards day, our game days, where we have our games, where we play championship games and stuff, and our awards day, and then also we'll be giving shout outs to some of our sponsors.
Thanks, man. I love you, man.
No
Appreciate
problem,
you,
bro.
man.
All right, thank you for doing it. All right.
Hey, check this out, podcast fam. But first, thank you all for tuning in. We are your go-to source for lively discussions, fascinating insights, and a whole lot of laughs. Our mission is simple: to keep you informed, entertained, and engaged. Whether you're a die-hard fan or just dipping your toe into the podcast world, we've got something for everyone. So sit back, relax, and join us on this exciting journey. Thank you for tuning in to the Say Less podcast. And if you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and follow us for more awesome content. Until next time, say less.